There are a few people who are more familiar with the intersection of politics and technology than my guest today on Innovate 2016, Gary Shapiro. Gary is the guy who runs the Consumer Technology Association, the group behind CES, and lots of other tech events around the world. Gary, welcome to Innovate 2016.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm honored to be here.
So Gary, I gave you a nice introduction. Prove to the audience that you're the guy that knows about the intersection of politics and tech. You're based in DC, right?
Yes, but that doesn't qualify me for much, as shown by the fact that Trump is leading in the polls. Being from DC isn't really cool today.
So you shouldn't be on the show, in other words.
It's your decision. You know, we represent over 2,000 technology companies. We do try to represent them in Washington and states and even around the world. And what we focus on is what's best for innovation, what's best for startups, how companies can enter, how an industry could develop. And there's so many things going on today that are very relevant because there's so much innovation in so many different areas, so many new categories. And the knee-jerk reaction of anyone in politics is say, oh my gosh, there's something new, we have to have some new rules for it.
So Gary, how's 2016 shaping up for the people you represent, for innovation? Is it going to be an election that benefits the innovators?
Well, that remains to be seen as to who gets elected. Obviously, we like it when there's discussion about innovation and technology and where we're going and the importance of education and highly skilled education, highly skilled immigration, and patent trolls and things that matter, and the sharing economy. So the more focus that people talk about it, but look, the number one issue, or the top issue, is jobs for all the candidates on both parties. And the question is, how do we get those jobs? And you can get those jobs by adding a whole bunch of rules, raising the minimum wage, requiring that everyone get overtime if they make less than $50,000 a year, which is what the present administration is doing.
Or maybe just build a wall.
Or build a wall. And that's another really crazy approach that says somehow we'll create jobs by building a wall around the country. We certainly wouldn't have a lot of iPhones then. We wouldn't have a lot of other technology products, and we wouldn't have the best and brightest around the world.
So who's making the most sensible noises so far, Gary, in terms of the 2016 candidates? Who do you like, at least what they're saying in terms of innovation?
Well, in my view, there's only one candidate who's actually talked about innovation in any meaningful way, and that's Senator Rubio. He started out in the Senate pushing crowdfunding bills, got them passed. He wrote a book, and he has a whole chapter focused on the Uber economy. He uses Uber, he defends Uber, he goes out there, and he realizes these are good things. You know, companies like Uber and Lyft and Airbnb, they're important. They're employing today, and similar sharing service companies, about 7% of Americans. And it's growing quickly. Uber's adding 20,000 drivers a month. You don't hear Donald Trump talking about Airbnb as a good thing.
Or Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton made some pretty negative comments about, we got to regulate now these drivers that are out there and start giving them new rules and requirements and benefits. And I've yet to meet one Uber driver who thinks it's a good idea.
Do you think that Rubio is making a strategic decision, or is it just instinctually, passionate, believes in this stuff?
I think he's passionate. I've spent some time with him. He believes in the
American
American
dream. And in all
dream.
fairness, I mean, you're a Democrat. You're not a Republican, right?
I'm not neither. Either party is too constricted from my view of
But
life.
you're certainly not a Republican ideologically. I mean, you're someone who's just interested in innovation.
I support the candidates that support innovation. I supported the Democrat senator and governor of Virginia. I didn't support President Obama. I supported his opponent, Mr. Romney. So I'm willing to go with whoever is most focused on innovation. Now, Rubio talks about the American dream, about we have to make sure that anyone can come here and start a business and build it up, and we have to make sure that our economy is run in such a way where there's new entrants all the time, because that fuels jobs. And that's what it's about with job creation. It's not only that those small companies can become big companies, but small companies employ people also, and they give people valuable skills. And what separates the United States from every other country in the world, with a possible exception of Israel, is that people could learn something, they could fail, and it's considered an education, and it's respected. And that's why we're so great at innovation and entrepreneurship. That, our First Amendment, the fact that we have funding here, we have bright people here, that we have a culture of kids asking why, all those are important things. It's our culture that makes a difference. And we're the most diverse country in the world, and that helps us create things.
Has the tech community recognized Rubio yet? Do you think that people in Silicon Valley and elsewhere are understanding that this guy might be their candidate?
Some are, some are not. I mean, certainly a lot of the tech community votes purely on social issues, and they will not support Rubio because a lot of them are liberal or libertarian. I wouldn't say Rubio is too much that way. But others are looking there. I know a lot of people supporting Governor Bush who are just waiting for him to drop out so they could jump in with Rubio because they see what he's doing in technology and innovation.
Issues, Gary, what really matters in 2016? Network neutrality, for example.
Well, what matters, 2016 is going to be a difficult year because it is an election year and Congress doesn't have a lot of days in it. Most of them are up for re-election. So we don't expect that much to get done. Some of it's setting the basis for 2017, but a few quick issues. Immigration reform, highly skilled immigration. The president and the leaders of both parties agree this is what we should do. How they should do it is a matter of great discussion and may not get done. Patent troll reform. Again, the President of the United States, Obama, and the Democratic and Republican leadership, with the exception of Senator Harry Reid, are behind it. They want to see this get done. We have a shot at getting that done. Free trade. There's great trade bills that have gone through Congress. We help support them. There's a trade agreement that's ready to be implemented soon. It's going to lower tariffs on technology products for very soon. That'll be a boon to the industry and to consumers around the world that are part of the information technology agreement. So those are three big things that can and should happen. Network neutrality is not legislative. It's in the courts now. It was certainly pushed. It's a good idea. We all agree to have network neutrality.
But you have a rather counterintuitive position on this. You don't think that it actually benefits innovation to have this Title II legislation?
Sure. The way it was done, I think, is not healthy because basically now companies have to go to the FCC and get permission before they innovate. So now we're seeing filings at the FCC by companies saying, may I do this, may I do that? That's not, we don't want to have to.
So this could kill innovation?
I'm not saying it's going to kill it. That would be an exaggeration. What it does, it does not help innovation, and it's not the answer. The answer is competition in broadband. So any consumer in the United States should be able to go out there and say, I have 3 or 4 or 5 choices of broadband provider, and if one of them want to restrict a little bit who I can see, what I can see, I can immediately go to another one. And we want fast broadband, thick broadband, and inexpensive, and that all comes from competition. Spectrum's another big issue. The auction that we worked for many years became a law. It's set to go off early in 2016. We don't know, nobody knows what will really happen, whether broadcasters will step up and put their spectrum on the block, but we're hoping they will. And if that doesn't work, or even if it does, we'd be pushing for more spectrum, for government to be more efficient in what it uses, to have more sharing relationships, to make sure that we get the high-speed, full motion video that every American is coming to expect and want.
Gary, how do we educate the electorate more responsibly? Network neutrality, I think, as you suggested, is an issue that has been sort of vulgarized by different groups, perhaps for different reasons, which aren't always clear. People always think, well, the network neutrality law is essential because otherwise they're stealing the internet. But as you suggested, that's not really the case. How do we educate people better about technology?
It's just a lot of work, and sometimes famous comedians get a hold of something and they twist the facts and they gear up the population.
Meaning?
Well, network.
John Oliver.
John Oliver did a tremendous job with,
But it wasn't a good job, right?
It was an amazing job, but it distorted the fact that there's been no doubt. Network neutrality has never been an issue in the United States. Nothing bad has ever happened. 15 years of going on with voluntary, we'll follow what the FCC said, never a harm. And then all of a sudden the FCC made it a big deal. It was all because President Obama, that's what he campaigned on. His roommate was the FCC chairman. He said, this is what I promised the president. I did it. And it's just caused a very divisive situation between the broadband providers and a lot of companies that want to experiment and do new things, and in a sense, the public. And we have to, the public's benefiting at this point greatly, not only from the internet and from the fact that network neutrality exists in fact, if not in law, and the law is questionable, but from all these different innovations, from the Internet of Things, from all these new services that are coming out there. And there are big issues coming. Privacy is an issue. When you're talking about all these different ways of sharing health information or information from your car or facial recognition, and then it bumps up against cybersecurity, it bumps up against terrorism. How do you want to deal with a terrorist? Well, the way you should deal with terrorists is through technology, and there's a lot of great answers to dealing with that. And these are issues which are going to be debated and discussed not only in 2016, but for many years to come.
Gary, finally, most of our TechCrunch audience is, as you know, are entrepreneurs, investors. Many of them Americans, many of them voters. What should they be listening out for as the election hots up, as as the debate becomes more pronounced? What should they be listening for in terms of making their decision to benefit innovation in this upcoming election?
Well, if you're focused on innovation and you really believe it's an important, great American national strategy, you should be asking questions about it. You should be raising with the candidates. Just don't give them money, which a lot of tech people do because you like their position on some social issue. But even if you're doing that, ask the tough questions. Ask what they think about Uber and Lyft. Ask about Airbnb. Ask about the sharing economy. Ask what they think about how we can get more broadband competition, how we can get more spectrum. Ask about highly skilled immigration. Ask about the issues that are going to make a difference for whether we go forward as a nation and lead the world in innovation, because that's what matters for the future, that's what matters for jobs, and that's what politicians should be focusing on, because the new jobs are going to come from new companies, and we have to always be ready to create new companies, even if it means challenging those status quo old companies.
Well, there you have it. Advice from Gary Shapiro. Ask the hard questions. Maybe, Gary, you should run for president.
Not in my future, not in this life.
Gary Shapiro, as always, pleasure, honor. Happy New Year, and have you back on when we have President Rubio in November 2016.
Thank you.